Hello everyone, it's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about the another Off the Porch interview with Dirty Glove B. And this time they interviewed Little Boosie's older daughter. Her name is Evie Anna Hatch, and she goes by the name of Poison Ivi. So it seems she's been rapping from since the age of 10 years old. So why I don't watch all of Off the Porch interviews. I see they have many, but I don't watch all of it. It's just certain ones I know. It's just certain ones that, I click on and then I learn a lesson from them. But one thing I do like about the way they interview these different rappers is that they ask questions that shows a different side to these many of these rappers, because some of them, the stuff that they rap about and the stuff that they promote, the lifestyle that they live, it's really off-putting. But the questions that they ask them, you see a different side, and you see some level of vulnerability with each of these people. So when I watch this young lady, I'm not a fan of her music. I don't condone her lifestyle, but it was certain things I came to find out about her that was an eye opener, because I know certain kids, sometimes we may have like a ideology, like kids who grew up in a good home, kids who grew up in a church, they are the good kids supposedly. But sometimes I have found that to be far from the truth. Far from the truth. And we're going to get a little snippet of the interview. If you want to watch the whole interview, I'm going to link it below. Just a heads up. If you like, holier than thou, you too heavenly minded, earthly good. With off the porch, they do have the people smoking weed on it. So if stuff like that bother you, if you can't see things like that, so I suggest you don't watch it. But this is a snippet of her saying something I want to talk about.
My daddy taught me how to get paid. Don't let nobody play with you about your money type shit.
Right.
Like, my mama taught me have respect for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, she taught me manners. She taught me yes, ma'am.
So you heard a snippet from Evie Anna, and she was just explaining what her dad taught her, to get your money and, don't let people play around with you. But her mother actually is the one that raised her, that taught her to be respectful of herself and respectful to other people, whereas her mother taught her manners. And this young lady actually, when certain things the interview was asking her, she was said, yes, ma'am. And you would think like, she's 20 years old, she's from Louisiana. The people have different stereotypes of people from Louisiana. But this young lady actually is very, very much intelligent, far beyond her age. People, and when you see young kids like that, I've heard people say that they are old souls. Even the interviewer said that. But mainly that's just a child that was just raised. This is an example of a child that was raised. Though a child that is raised is not a perfect child. That's what we need to get in our minds. They're not going to be perfect, because she does things that I don't condone and other people will condone. But, many times they become a product of the environment that they were raised in. So what they see, that's what they're going to do. So certain things that she does, certain things that she saw, that is what she is doing. But it's like, wow, and then even, I mean, not a fan of the music, but the fact that the way her mom raised her, when she did decide to do music, she wanted to be different. She didn't want to be, half naked, showing this and twerking and doing things like that. She wanted to be different. She wanted to stand out. And that's why many people, I guess, rock with her. And another thing, I think she says she's not signed to any, label. I think her dad produces her music. If not, because there's some things that says B, the name of his media company, I guess. So she's not signed to a label, but she says that's not like her top priority at this moment. So hopefully when it does become a top priority, she gets a lawyer, because a lot of times many of these rappers, they get caught up in these, I think they call it 360 deals. And because they have the talent, they need the money, and they just sign whatever the contract says. They don't get somebody to look over it. They don't get a professional lawyer to look over it. And then they get caught up in these deals that does not really benefit them, and it won't benefit their generation. But this young lady is not in that predicament because her dad, in a sense, made a way for her. So hopefully if she do decide to sign with a label, hopefully she do get a lawyer to look over those contracts, because as we know, many of these rappers have signed contracts that are not beneficial to them. So even though a lot of controversial things that her dad has done, a lot of, you know, just things you can't, I don't even understand sometimes the things that Lil Boosie does. But this young lady, and then what's another refreshing thing about her, she's the oldest of, all the kids that Boosie has. I'm not sure exactly the number, but she has several of them. And she says she's protective of her, her siblings, her younger siblings. And that is something to be commended, because I know many girls who are old, who's the oldest of their siblings, and with whether they're boys and girls or whatever, and they are so mean. I mean, they are so mean, especially to the boys. And I have seen this. I mean, they will pick on the little brothers. They will fight them just because they're older. But then, of course, those little brothers turn into big brothers, and then you can't do that anymore. But most of the time, what I have seen is toxic relationships between the older sister and the younger siblings, especially the boys. But according to her, she doesn't see it that way. She's more protective of that, and this is something many parents need to watch over and see, because this happens a lot. I mean, the things that I've seen these older sisters do to these younger brothers is despicable, and it's disgusting. But this is, I mean, she was, like I said, she was raised a different way. So though you raise your children, at least they have that basic foundation of respecting themselves, respecting others. But that doesn't mean they're gonna be perfect. That doesn't mean they're gonna do everything right, But as long as they have that basic foundation, even if they stray or whatever, they'll come back. That's why the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go. So whether you train them in a good way, whether you train them in a bad way, that is the way they will go. And even if they stray in a bad way, they'll come back. And another thing she said that I noted, when she stated certain people, when they want to come into her life and they want to do everything for her, they want to know all her business, they want to be around her, she's like skeptical of those type of people, and she's try to stay away from those people. That is something I had to learn in my earlier age, because most of the times people who do things like that, most of the time they're not for you, and they are the ones that's going to betray you. But sometimes we don't know this in our younger age. We tend to find this out when we're older. But for her to be 20 years old and to know this already, this young lady is very much wise beyond her years. So that was something I noticed. Like, wow, not a lot of young people know this. But anyway, that's all I had to say on this, situation and this young lady. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.